So I'm going to explain about how to configure Spring Cloud Config Server. Okay, so Spring Cloud Config is a tool that supports like externalize configuration in distributed systems. Okay, both like on like server and client sides. So by using the config server, so we can manage the external properties for a applications across like various environments from a centralized location. Okay, so to work with this, basically we need a centralized location. So I just created one git repo here. Okay, so here I just created like application.aml. I just added one message service name here, and apart from this I just created dev.aml file and production.aml file here. Okay, so I just added like different messages to differentiate the environments here. Okay, so to work with this, so let's create Spring Boot application. Okay, so let's go to Spring Initializer here. So here I'm going to create Spring Cloud, okay, config server here. Okay, so here I will take main. Okay, so this and all not required. Let's remove this and just take cloud config server. That's it. Let's generate this project and let's unzip this and import into your IDE here. Okay, so let's open this project in your IDE. Okay, let's go back. Sorry, trust this project, new window. Okay, close this and go to your main application. Let's maximize this. Okay, so here you can just enable your config server. Okay, and apart from this, in the application.aml file, let me create application.aml file here. Okay, in the application.aml file we have to be define so this config server here. So that config server how to define is I will explain here. Okay, so before that let me create application name. So I'm going to take config server here. Okay, and let's take server port number here. I'm going to take 88. Okay, 4 8s here, and after that we need to define so GitHub configuration URL here, right? So yeah, Spring Cloud, right? So let's okay, cloud config. After that we have a server, so server could be git here, and after that we have to define the URI. Okay, so the URI I already created, right? So let me copy that URL from here. So this is my URL. Okay, so let's copy this and go back to our config server and let's paste here. Okay, so that's it. We are ready. So let's start this application and test this. Okay, config server is started, right? But so we should have some pattern to test this. Okay, so this is official page is provided by the Spring here. Okay, so here it has taken, let me show you. Okay, so here the HTTP service has resources like this. Okay, we should follow this strategy here. So application and profile and some label here. Okay, so go back to okay, here what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this local host. Okay, 888 here. Okay, and after that, so we have to define application and what is that, and label application and profile. We have to define the profile here. Okay, so this is application and this is the profile. So let's take dev first. See this, so profile is dev and this is my property. Okay, resources, and after that you can see the service.name. Okay, so all those details you can see here, and this is ready. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create Spring Cloud config client here. So let's go back here and let's take client. Okay, and this is client here, and let's remove this and let's provide main here. So remove this. Okay, I'm going to take Spring Web, okay, to write the controller, and let's take Lombo and let's take config client here. Okay, so that's it, and generate this project and unzip this and let's import into your IDE. Okay, let's open this, go to downloads. This is config client. Let's open this, trust this project, new window. Okay, and so here, so what I'm going to do is let's go to this resources directory. So let's create application.aml file here. Okay, so in the application.aml file, so we have to be define. Okay, so Spring application name first. Okay, I think I have given some wrong name, so let's refactor this name. Okay, so Spring application name, so I'm going to take config client here. Okay, and apart from this, what we need to define is we have to define config import here. Okay, config import. So this config import, we have to be define config server here. So config server. Okay, so that config server, so we have to be define our localhost, that config server URL here, right? So that is http localhost. Okay, this is, and apart from this we can provide optional parameter here as well. Okay, so let me provide that optional. Okay, so what it will does is, so if this config server does not exist, it doesn't throw any error if you provide like optional here. Okay, so that's it. So you can just start this application and test this. Okay, but before that we need a controller, right? So go to our main directory, let's create, so controller. So I'm going to create config controller here. Okay, so config controller here, and let's annotate with rest controller. Okay, and apart from this you can provide request mappings. Inside this request mapping, you can provide okay, service. Okay, I will take message here. Okay, and you need to read that data from that config server, right? So you need to like take some property private. Okay, string message, string service detail, right? So service, I will take otherwise service info here. Okay, so this could be read through value. Okay, annotation. So here what you can do is you can, okay, here service dot name here. Okay, so that's it, and let's take one controller endpoint here. So this could be return string message. Okay, get service info, and so return. Okay, let's take self4j log. Okay, so what I will do is here I will take service info message here. Okay, let's print service name here. Okay, okay, after that let's annotate with get mapping. Okay, so that's it. Now so if you want to print log as well, you can print it log info. So inside this I'm going to print service name. Okay, so that's it. So now So let's start this and test this whether it's working or not. Let's start this application. Application has been started, and here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more localhost 8080, and so what is my endpoint? So let's go back to our config client controller, and here we have defined message. Okay, you can see this service name, okay, and service A. So because service A means so the default environment here, right? So here we are getting default environment, that is application.yaml. So you can see the service A here. So if you want to get like dev environment properties, what you need to do is you have to define, you have to activate the profile here. Okay, so to do that, let's stop this, okay, and go to configuration, edit configuration. So here we have a modify options. Let's add VM options here. So here D, okay, D spring profiles dot active, okay, equal to dev here. Okay, let's apply this and let's run this. So this time the dev environment will be activated. Okay, dev is activated, and go back to, okay, endpoint, and let's hit this. We can see service name from dev environment here. Okay, so this is how it will be work. Okay, now let's integrate this spring config client with our like Eureka server. Okay, so let's register with this Eureka server. Let's go back to our config client. So in the application that no, in the pom.xml file, okay, and we have to add the dependency, right? So what I can do is, in the product service we already have a dependency. So let's copy the dependency, let's paste here. Okay, and go back to your config client, and in the dependency section you can just add this and refresh this Maven. And apart from this, we need to provide some configuration in the YAML file, right? So this is my URL, okay, and go back to your config.client file, okay, and here just provide this Eureka configuration, right? So let's restart this and see whether it's registered with your Eureka server or not. What it is saying that cannot execute request on any known server. Okay, I think Eureka server is stopped. Let's start this application, and now go back to your Eureka server and let's restart this. Okay, we don't see any configurations here. Go to config client and restart this again. Okay, it started successfully. Now let's refresh this and we can see this, right? And let's click on this, and after that, so we need to provide message here, right? Yeah, so this is how you can integrate with your Eureka server as well. So that's it. We can jump into the next component. Okay.